Hi everybody. We are starting a new channel that came up from idea that we want to share some experiences as parents, as dads, to be more precise. And it's going to be called Dads A to Z. We hope we both have a PhD in early child development, and I'm just plain. I'm just a dad, and Adam is just a dad as well.
Yes.
We're in two different point of life, and we have children with different ages, and I think it would be a great idea to share some experiences and have some informative and hopefully entertaining content coming forward.
Yeah, we're hoping to be able to start conversations in communities on topics that, seem maybe kind of superficial or expected, but there's so many different things that you have in your life as a dad, being an individual, but also for dealing with your kids. My kids are in their teens. Z's, by the way, my name's Adam. That's Z, A to Z. Z's.
If you didn't get it, like A to Z.
Yes, we're very sharp. And Z's daughter is very young, so there's topics and there's things that he hasn't even realized he's going to be thinking about that I might have already dealt with and put behind me, just as there's stuff coming ahead of me that I don't know what's coming. So we're hoping that this is going to be a way to start conversations on, getting people into sports. Do you talk to your kids about what's going on in the world? Do you directly influence what kind of music they listen to? We can talk about just whatever we want to talk about. I mean, we're too late to talk about the trash that Wonder Woman '84 was, but that would have been something we would have loved to talk about. Our almost good Orlando City soccer might be a topic, and how it is being a passionate dad in sports, which some people still take it to an extreme, and other people it becomes a passing fancy, like me and my New York.
And my daughter has been in games since she was in my wife's belly, so she's been watching Orlando City since she was born. So it's interesting to see how she's gonna grow up, develop, and if that's gonna be an influence that I had on her. Kind of same with the music and everything that you might have in kids. It's interesting to see how it develops, and is it like what they get from in-home, or they're going to get it from their friends and outdoor. I mean, you have a kid that is almost 17 years old, and I guess maybe you already can tell, like, is he leaning towards what he learned from you in the sense of music or sports, or he's just becoming his own man in that sense. Which
kind of segues us into the Super Bowl. When I was a kid, the Super Bowl was, I'm a New York Giants fan, so when I was younger, I got to experience a couple Super Bowl wins. Z had, as a Saints fan, had to wait a little longer.
A bit longer. I'm going to wait a lot longer right now.
Yeah, looks like. But it was a good time to have, that's Avery,
that's
by
Avery.
the way.
Say hi, Avery.
You're going to see a couple of them.
Come
on. When I was a kid, it was something that was a lot of fun. I was involved in the church then, and it just kind of became something that was a party, and it was fun to get together. As I got a little bit older, it was very serious. Maybe I was, doing gambling on playing the boxes. And then as I got older as an adult, I was in the restaurant and bar industry, so it really became a chore. It was just a day off, drink beer and watch the football game. The Giants weren't in it. I didn't really care. And that kind of transitioned into my kids, because at that point in life, even though I was so excited about it as a kid and as a young adult, wasn't as excited as I'm not for this Super Bowl. I have no dog in the race. Maybe go Tampa, although my wife absolutely hates Tom Brady, so that's going to be
like 80% of the country.
I have no love lost. My Giants beat them twice. But my kids, because of that, have very passing, at best, interest in sports. So
do
I
you
don't
think
know what it's going to be for us.
Do you think is that lack of interest in sports is maybe because you had lack of interest because there was no, like, it's just you were like just maturing and growing up and not really being invested as much, or maybe there is just such a new era with a lot of different things that they can have interest in. Like, I guess when we were growing up, there was not a lot to get interested in, and then with the growth of technology today, like they get, like, you know, like your kid is doing this graphic design and on this whole, that's a cat running around just by the way. You know, getting into graphic design on the, and he's gonna throw out the, he's gonna put the.
Oh, I have to put the case.
Anyways,
If the video suddenly stops, you'll understand.
or, you know, like when we were growing up, there was no like tablets and easy access to, let's say, graphic design or something that's going to interest our.
I would say it's more a transition in my opinion. It's not that there is more to do. Jake, if you would, by the way, Jake, my son, just take the audio case and just kind of tent it over that, so my lovely cat doesn't step on the power. It's more a transition of what is important and what is available. When I was a kid, and I'm 47, so back when I was 17, that was what was available. You know, watching football, back then my father still had, maybe not at 17, my father had tickets to the Giants, so that's what we did. Like, we watched football. That was my tablet. That was, you know, back then we had video games. It was Nintendo back then, but it was still something. But the culture was, of course, the cat's going to go underneath the box and try to get to the power. The culture was you watch sports. And the culture was you watch Super Bowl, which it still is, because right now the main group that has money is still about my age that's interested. Yeah. But now the way that kids kind of get information, they're getting it through a wireless world. And there's so many different options, so the thing to do is to keep ingesting. Super Bowl will be on the top of a 17-year-old mind, maybe even a 12 or 13-year-old mind, but they're just going to ingest it a different way. It's not necessarily going to be a Super Bowl party. They're not going to sit and watch the game and watch the commercials and eat a whole bunch of wings and pizza, beer and soda. That's just not what they're going to do. They're going to have it on TV, maybe with their parents, maybe in their room, and be talking to somebody or streaming or whatever it is. So to me, I don't necessarily think it's a more, in the sense that it's just different to what's readily available.
I don't know, I just feel like that, and I think it's just a normal thing that as you change ages and generations, the interests are different, and people focus on different things. I might say, you know, like, and I work with a lot of younger kids, younger population, and while like I see like people like us in our age group, like, you know, like I'm still excited about Super Bowl. I don't care who wins. I'm still excited. I want to watch it. Like, I took a day off to watch it, you know, right? Even though my team doesn't play. But a bunch of the people who work for me, like the kids that work with me, they don't just don't care. Like, don't care about sports. Don't have a team. They're more focused on a player than on a team. And I just see like the interest focus shifts to different subjects and different topics, and maybe it's just normal, and it's, you know, like if we had like our grandparents and grandparents here, they were like, oh, in our age, right, when we went to watch how the horses ran, you know, like they have different interests in different.
Well, also going back to parental influence, there's definitely parents that are gung-ho sports.
And that translates probably.
I picked up this cup because it's from a place where I used to work. That family is huge Florida Gator. They watch baseball even, which nobody watches college baseball unless you have a kid there. But they're so impassioned about it because of the father went there, and that's the whole thing. So the kid, and they're all girls, and that's not to say girls can't like sports. It's not what I'm saying. It's just the fact that these are people that are just impassioned because of that.
By the way, everybody's snoring and sleeping.
It's just very comfortable. I don't think anyone can sleep with that maniac running around in the background.
But yeah, I mean, definitely families have influence on how the children.
Well, but on the same time.
But is it like, Jake? Are you interested in Giants? Let's ask Jake.
No.
No.
If he has a team, it's the Dolphins. If, and that goes back to video games, because that's more the passion that I kind of put into my kids, because that's what I played Madden, and when he was very little, he always wanted me to play the fish team. So I would play the Dolphins just to kind of make him happy.
Well, as promised, here is the video, and we'll put it to that lovely audio, and you'll notice the ever so candid way it finishes, because we had no idea it stopped. Regardless, we're working on it. We'll get this up today, hopefully, and then we'll have something put together for Friday, as we recorded something today, another test where the audio went to crap. So we're having all sorts of fun trying to figure this out, just working it till it gets perfect. And we will continue to put out our hits and misses, and hopefully it entertains you. Please remember to like and subscribe, and help us out and have fun. And don't forget to comment. Let me know that I definitely need to lose a few pounds. Man, how many pounds does a camera put on?